Morning, it's day 9 on the PCT. I was going to sleep in a little bit because I had a long haul yesterday uphill. Did I think about 18 miles, and it was did some night hiking. Encountered a lot more snow than I was expecting up here because there's this website postholing that tracks the snow data, government snow data, on trail, and when I last checked it in Thru-hiking, it said there was no snow on trail. Well, there is, but that's the satellite data. I guess probably can't pick up the snow in the pockets under the trees and things like that. Probably most of it. Anyway, so that ended up being a long day. I night hiked even over some of the snowfields, and as you can tell, I'm in this kind of valley area down below the trail, very exposed to the sun. I was going to sleep in as long as I felt like it, but it just got too hot inside my tent once the sun came up. So got up, did my cat hole, and ate breakfast, actually sitting down breakfast. Usually I eat while I'm hiking. So I sat down for breakfast and brushed my teeth and that kind of thing. I haven't, you can see my tent is back there. Haven't broken it down completely. I'm recharging my watch so that I can track my activities today. The watch was getting a little low. So looking forward, I've mapped out an 18-mile day. I might do more, might do less. I'm feeling like maybe doing 15s instead of 20s might be the way to go. The reason being that there's still snow on Fire Creek Pass and Red Pass, according to my latest information, and there's a heat wave. So if I arrive a day later, maybe an easier traverse across some of those snowfields, even if they're left. So maybe going a little slower, letting the heat wave do its thing on the snow. Might not lose much time because going over snow is very slow, and if it's largely melted or more of it's melted, I might save time over on the snowfields by slowing down on the approach. So might be doing more like 15-mile days. I've got, I think this next section, there's an alternate some people are recommended because of the blowdowns on the PCT. Now I remember a section, and it might be the one coming up, where there was an avalanche apparently, and it brought down hundreds, maybe thousands, I don't know, at least hundreds, many hundreds of trees in this one section, including over the trail. So if you were to scramble over them, it could take a day just to go 50 yards over all the trees. There was a route around it, a trail uphill, so I think if that's the section coming up, I'm familiar with how to get around it. There's also an alternate trail that's up on the ridge. Apparently has great views, but it's also, the heat wave is peaking today and tomorrow, so I don't know that I want to be up on the ridge. The PCT has great views in many other places as well, but I don't know that I want to be that exposed to the heat in the sun. So I may stay down valley and do the official PCT instead of going up on this. I think it's called Miners Ridge, and it leads up to a lookout. It looks like a good alternative, and apparently it has less or fewer blowdowns. So those are the options. I think I'm going to probably take the regular PCT because I know I've gone through that before, even with the blowdowns. And I think that's probably what I'll do. I might change my mind later. So anyway, something like a 18 mile day is probably in the books. I've got to climb out of here. I think it's about 1,000 feet in 2 miles. So a good steep climb out, and then after that it's downhill most of the day, and then probably in the river valley of the Suiattle River. I think that's the river. This is the Suiattle Pass. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but probably close. Anyway, I'm going to let the battery charge and then break down. I will probably be on trail in about 20 minutes. I don't know actually what time it is. I think it's after 10. So I'll probably be on trail by like 10:30ish. Okay, back on trail. You can see my campsite was down this little valley here among all those rocks. And you can see probably the sign for camp here, somewhere there. Now, turns out it's about 9 o'clock now, getting back on trail. When I said it was a little after 10. It was actually a little after 8. And it was just so warm, I thought it must be almost noon, but no, it was only about 8 o'clock. And it's already really hot, and I haven't even started hiking really. We have a lot of sunlight ahead, and it's going to be a hot one. So I'm thinking there's a very good chance that I won't see anybody today. I'm 20 miles away from Thru-hiking, and 2 of the PCT hikers I met in Thru-hiking turned around yesterday. There's 3 more ahead of me. I don't think I'll reach them unless they're holed up someplace waiting for the snow to melt, because I'm not pushing big miles today. And it's a Monday, I think. This means no weekend hikers probably. 4th of July weekend's all over. And we're too far into the wilderness for day hikers. So good chance I don't see anybody today. Okay, when I say I'm not hiking big miles, I should probably define my terms. Because 15 miles in a day is big miles to anybody who's not through hiking. And it's big miles for me too, especially on some of these steep climbs. But in order to complete the PCT in my time frame, which is about 4 months, I'm hoping, I got to do 25 miles a day on average over those 4 months. Typically start a little easier in the first couple of weeks, then pick up later. And then a lot depends on how many zeros and neros you hike, meaning days with 0 miles or near 0 miles on trail. And so for me, when I think of big miles, I'm thinking anything over 25 miles in a day. I was doing that pretty regularly towards the end of the PCT in 2021. My biggest mile day was 28 miles. I've never done a 30, but I expect, anticipate, and certainly hope for 30-mile days to be a pretty regular thing by the time I get to Oregon, which will be in a couple weeks. So that's what I mean when I say big miles, is something 25 miles or more, and hiking all day, 12, 14, 15 hours in a day. Okay, just crossed this little mini ice field here. There's a lot of these. And I post-holed, which I haven't been doing much of yet. For those who don't know, post-holing is when you're walking on snow, especially snow that's melting fast, and the snow gives out under you, and your leg goes through the snow to whatever's underneath. Now in this case, it just happened to be trail, so that was fine. Sometimes though, underneath could be rocks, could be trees, could be something that cuts up your legs. So it is potentially dangerous, post-holing. So probably a little bit more of that will be happening. I sank to the level of my knees. So sometimes people post-hole up to their hips or even more, and it's hard to get at. If you post-hole over a river, for example, if you're crossing a snow bridge, that can be very dangerous, because then you get trapped in the ice and snow underneath. So all of those things are things you have to keep in mind when you're crossing snow that's unstable like this, because it's melting so fast. So taking my time, just being careful. Pausing just for a bit to put on some bug repellent. Bugs aren't bad here, but I just met 2 gentlemen going north who are picking up some miles they missed PCT 2023 because of a fire closure through this area. Was all closed last year, and they had to detour around it. So those two guys are here, so I'm not the only one today out on the trail. So yeah, bugs have not been bad, except I had a lot of bees and stuff in camp and flies. I've only gotten two, maybe three mosquito bites so far in the whole 9 days or 8.5 days, whatever I've been out. And so it's been pretty good, but I know they get really bad later on in Washington, especially after the snow melts. So I do have bug repellent, and I remember Washington and Oregon get pretty bad. So if you see me with a head net, you know I'm being swarmed with bugs. So there were some mosquitoes up north that were like swarming me when I was stopped, but they didn't bite that much, just a couple of times. And as long as I kept moving, it was fine. So the mosquitoes are going to get more active, more hungry as things start drying out. And so I am putting on some bug repellent. I think this was where that detour started from last year. We're going to Suiattle Pass, PCT South. Okay, we're at the junction with Miners Ridge and Suiattle Pass. You can see that. And Pacific Crest Trail south goes this way. So this is where I have to make the decision about whether to go on the ridge or take the valley. Valley has more blowdowns, ridge has more views. I guess I'm going to go through the valley. It's just cooler. Go along the river, be in the sun less. There's probably more bugs. There's definitely more blowdowns, but I've been through that before. So I'm gonna rest here at the junction for a minute. Took off my pack. Gonna get some water and eat a snack, and then continue on. Okay, I just went around the blowdown avalanche section that I remembered from 2021. It's a much easier path now. I think some work crews have been out, and when I was here 3 years ago, there was just a small footpath, animal path that you had to go under and over a lot of different blowdowns, and it was a struggle, and it took 10, 15, 20 minutes just to get around. I did it in like 2 minutes just now. So they cleared out some of that workaround trail. I think they cut up some of those logs. Obviously, most of them are left here, but there is a trail that is pretty easy to get around. Maybe not for a horse, but for a human, it's just fine. Not a problem at all. Okay, now we come to a puzzle. That's a big blowdown there. Probably not going to climb over it. Can't get under it. There appears to be a trail leading down there, which to me looks doubtful, but possible. And there's sometimes a high route. I can see some people have tried it, taken it. Signs of footsteps here. Broken stuff up there. My guess is best way around would be up. That's usually my preference, is to go up before I try going down. So, given that I think some feet have broken that up, I think there's a way up. That's the way I'm going to try. If it doesn't work, I'll come back down and try the low route. And there may be a way to climb over it as well, over there. Let's see. Well, I got on top of it. Can't see the trail. There's a way people have gone down here. Also maybe a higher route and then drop down. Hard to tell. But I'm going to go on the other side and see where is the best way to get back on the trail on this side of the blowdown. And as I get down, I can see the path to the trail here is pretty obvious. The only thing that was tricky about this is carrying a heavy pack, which can throw you off balance as you try to climb. If I didn't have my pack, it'd be relatively simple. Okay, I went over the high route. Trail came around here. From here I can see the low route. Looks very doable as well. Can't see how you cross. There's a stream down there. Presumably people, looks very steep. But other than being steep up and down, it doesn't look too bad. Still hiking a little bit after doing that blowdown. Just wanted to record my thoughts because I thought it was kind of interesting. I was kind of beginning to tire out. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I was thinking maybe I'll retire early. Maybe I look for a place to lie down and take a nap. Although it's pretty hot, I don't know if I'd fall asleep. But it's still early. It's like 1:30 or something. So feels like it's too early to slow down too much. But I was definitely feeling like I was slowing and tiring. And then came to that blowdown, which caused a little bit of a puzzle. Made me think about how I was going to get around. Made me use my body in different ways, climbing, trying to keep balance, that kind of thing. So the sort of combination of mental and physical challenge, it just kind of changed things up a little bit. Now I feel like I got my second wind. So a little bit of a boost from having overcome that challenge. I'm sure there's more ahead. But I was talking to a friend on the PCT in 2021, because I used to be a video gamer. I always thought of it as leveling up. You defeat a bad guy and you level up. You get health points or whatever, some extra powers. And I felt on the PCT the first time, and now this time, is every time I overcome one of these little challenges, like crossing a snow traverse or something, or figuring out how to get over or around or under a difficult blowdown, I feel like I just leveled up. It's like, okay, now I got some powers. Now I can go forward and face the next thing. So here we go. So I don't think there's been a lot of people through here today, if anybody. The reason I think so is I'm silk blazing. It's 2:30-ish in the afternoon. Most of the spider webs go up overnight. They get cleared out in the morning when hikers come through, or whoever, deer or someone comes through and breaks the webs. But I'm not used to encountering so many spider webs in the middle of the afternoon. So I'm guessing nobody else has hiked this portion of the trail today, which tells me that the PCT hikers, the 3 of them that I know are up ahead, are something like a day ahead of me, which would make sense because they left Thru-hiking the day before me, and I've not been going very fast. So, and I don't think there are a lot of other people out at the moment. At some point, I will be crossing paths with many NOBOs, northbound PCT hikers, who started somewhere from March to May of this year heading north. But the earliest of them, assuming they didn't skip huge sections, the earliest NOBOs are probably in Northern California, maybe Oregon. Maybe Oregon, yeah, there could be some people in Oregon who are going fast. So by the time I get to Southern Washington or Northern Oregon, I'm probably going to be passing dozens, scores of NOBO hikers, what they call the bubble. I don't know how the bubble is. The bubble is masses of people traveling in a similar time frame, kind of all together. Bubbles are caused typically sometimes by start date, like on the AT where you can choose your date. On the PCT, they try to avoid bubbles of hikers because, and that's why they only do like 50 a day from the Mexican border and 15 a day from the Canadian border, or Hart's Pass. So they're trying to alleviate that bubble phenomenon, but it still happens. Like whenever there's a closure, if there's a big snow year like last year, people skipping the Sierras all at once and jumping into wherever it's clear. So there's always a bubble of some sort. But the point is, we ain't there yet. Maybe in a couple weeks. But I think this trail is not seeing a lot of traffic at the moment. Interesting thing just happened. I got a storm alert on my watch. Now, it's supposed to tell me there's a storm coming. My watch seems to think there's a storm coming. I'm sure there's not a storm coming. It wasn't in the forecast. It's hot. There's no clouds. We're in the middle of a heat wave. There's no precipitation or anything expected. No change expected within the next week. But my watch, my smartwatch, not so smartwatch, has a algorithm based on, I think, barometric pressure, to maybe temperature. I don't think it knows the temperature that well. But it's not connected to the internet at the moment, so it's not getting national weather data. So it's not a warning from some service. It's just from whatever the watch can pick up. And what just happened, I think, is I'm moving lower into this valley, and maybe it's picking up the humidity from the river, changes in the temperature, certainly changes in the barometric pressure as I descend. But there's no storm. There's no storm coming. I am the storm. I haven't seen this before. Someone dropped an egg in the trail. Probably not a hiker. Probably fell from a nest. Not straight ahead. Probably fell up there and rolled to the top. Well, I'm going to step around it. Okay, I made it down the valley. I'm at Miners Creek. You can see the bridge and the river flowing pretty fast. I think I'm gonna stop here for lunch, just drop my pack, possibly take a nap, but probably just rest a while, get something to eat, refill my water, refilter, and start up again. It's very cool right here. There's a little pocket of cold air coming from the stream. It's got to be 15, 20 degrees cooler than the trail was just 100 yards away. So this is a nice little place to stop. Too early in the day though for me to tent here. There's a tent spot. It's about almost 4 o'clock. I'm going to make some more miles. I've gone about 10 miles. Maybe do 15 we'll see how long I take a break here. You can see it's all like mossy rock area. Pretty nice. So the bees seem to like my leg. I don't know if they're going after the salt or if the hairs on my leg may have picked up some pollen. That might be it. I don't know. I don't think it's the water, because there's water everywhere here. They're definitely picking up something. They're not biting or stinging. Kind of tickles. Okay, it's a little after 7 o'clock, and I think I'm going to camp here at Suiattle River. See the river there? Kind of a nice little camp spot. A lot of flat spaces. There's a fire pit. So I'm not going to have a fire tonight. I think I'm going to camp here somewhere. Set up my tent. Anyway, I did a short day today, about 13 and a half miles, a lot of it downhill. So mostly feeling tired from yesterday, the night hiking in the snow and carrying a heavy pack. So I've got to be eating down the food that I'm carrying. I'm carrying a lot of food. Probably 50. I probably went out with about 15 pounds, and I can eat maybe 2 pounds a day. If I'm really working on it. So I'm gonna have a dinner and I'll have a breakfast in the morning, head out, and like I say, probably doing 15-ish miles a day until I hit the snow. Mostly not rushing it because I want the snow to melt. And that's Fire Creek Pass and Red Pass are still holding snow. So taking it easy, and gonna catch up on my sleep tonight.